So in the first part of this video, in which I did an entire lesson about parallel structure, and then I did another lesson about explanatory thesis statement and evaluative thesis statement, and then towards the end, after 15 minutes, the free version of Screencast-O-Matic shuts off automatically. So I was in the middle of a sentence and suddenly everything got shut off. So here you have this second part of the video is the second part of this lecture. So think of the first video as part 1 and think of this video as part 2. So I will go over a little bit. So explanatory thesis statement, as I stated before, is where you state facts and you state controversial facts such as the COVID-19 and people who deny that it's real and it's a life and death story that people need to know that COVID-19 is not the ordinary flu. Therefore, you better use the explanatory, makes it controversial, so you have to use the explanatory thesis statement. But in our class, we're using the evaluative thesis statement because that is the most common thesis statement used in argumentative, persuasive, and in all the most essay formats. And it's much better to use a debatable thesis statement because, as I said before, if it's something debatable and then the reader can agree or disagree with it, and you would write about the pros and cons of something, and that the purpose of your essay is to convince your reader of your point of view. And we're going to do a lot more argumentative, persuasive in our week 9 forum, where you're going to write a persuasive essay post. Anyway, for the comparison contrast essay, which is the week 8 and 12 assignments, you are going to write about, you're going to compare two different things. And then you're going to give a value judgment of which one is better than the other. As soon as you give a value judgment of something, and you give your opinion about something, that makes it an evaluative thesis statement because you're evaluating that topic. So where I got left off was that you can have two different ways of writing your comparison contrast essay. You can either use the point-by-point method, which is very similar to the 5-paragraph essay structure, in which you write your thesis statement, you write character development, plot development, descriptive development, and then each of these elements becomes your body paragraph, just like we did in essay 1. So here you have character development paragraph 2, plot development, and then plot development in paragraph 3, and then descriptive development, and that becomes paragraph 4. And then in the second way you can write your comparison contrast essay is by using the one-side method. When we use the one-side method, we write one paragraph about the books and then another paragraph about the movies. And then in each of these paragraphs, you're going to write the character development, plot development, descriptive development in that exact order. And each paragraph has to be 7 to 10 sentences. And you cannot mix and match this. And so therefore, if you can write all of that in 10 sentences, then you can use the block method. But if you tend to talk on and on and on and on, and you tend to be very verbose, then I suggest you use the point-by-point method. It's up to you which comparison contrast method you are most comfortable in using. And so that pretty much concludes, because the Screencast-O-Matic, I have the free version. That's the video that I'm using. I'm not using the Zoom. Zoom would have allowed me to go on and on and on. But anyway, for Screencast-O-Matic, they only allow me 15 minutes. So I was almost at the very, very end of my lecture, and then I got cut off. So you'll notice as you watch the first lecture, hey, wait a minute, what was it she was going to say again? And so here in this video, I'm finishing up my lecture from the first video. That's all this is. And if you have any questions about how to do parallel structure or how to do an evaluative and explanatory thesis statement, you can always email me. So that the two main agendas or items in this video series was I wanted to teach you about parallel structure, about semicolons in your thesis, and then the difference between the explanatory thesis and the evaluative. Because people had a lot of, I based these lessons on the questions that you submitted to me through email, and also the difference between, did I misspell difference? Okay, difference, yeah, between the block method and the alternate method. Another mistake I made in the first video, if I can find it, is that this should be a semicolon. And it was only after I was watching the video the second time I said, oh, wait a minute, that's not a completely correct sentence. There's a mistake over here. So I wonder how many people who watched the first video even going to notice that little mistake. And if you noticed it, then consider yourself a grammar Nazi. That means somebody who's really good at grammar, a grammar Nazi. Because when I was doing this video, I totally didn't see this mistake. Anyway, so because in a thesis statement, you're supposed to have semicolon, semicolon, and I didn't even see it. And that because semicolon means and, then that means that this word and is actually optional. I could actually go like this, and it would still be correct, you know. So, or you could do like this. Well, anyway, I'm not going to confuse you. But there's so many different ways of using semicolons that if I tell you all the different ways that all the different teachers debate themselves over, it becomes very confusing. So anyway, this just means when you use a semicolon, it's and. And so when you use a semicolon in between all the sentences of your thesis statement, then that makes the whole thing one long sentence, and it's called a declarative sentence. If you leave these things out and you don't use the correct punctuation, you end up with a run-on sentence. So I don't know if you guys remember your week 7, how to avoid sentence fragments. That's basically, you got to use the right punctuation in order to avoid comma splices and fused sentences. Anyway, if you have any further questions about how to do parallel structure, how to do semicolons, or the difference between explanatory thesis and evaluative thesis, or the difference between a block and alternate method, you can always email me. This was pretty much what was covered in the week 7 office hours. I had students ask me, do you have a recording of that meeting? And this is pretty much what we did. We covered, the rest of it was just a lot of chit chat, so that just takes up a lot of too much time. So what I did with these 2 recordings is I just simply recorded the best part of the week 7 office hours, which was basically to go over parallel structure, semicolons in your thesis, the difference between explanatory and evaluative thesis statements. And if you attended the week 7 office hours, you don't need to watch these videos again, because this would be just like a repeat, you know, that kind of stuff, too redundant. But if you weren't able to make the week 7 office hours, then feel free to watch this video and you know, catch yourself up on what you missed during the week while you were working. So basically, we just went over some grammar. We went over somebody had questions about her essay and that sort of thing. So this ends this video series, and if you have any questions, feel free to email me.